I'm resident of color for YouTube. Jules Sains, that's my buddy Gordon Dymowski, that's my buddy Alan Gallant, that's my buddy Culver. We are here to review Wolfen, chosen by this nerd. Uh, Me. Sorry. Yes, yes, yes. Um, this movie was set and filmed in New York, obviously. I'd never seen this before. When did you guys first see this movie, Alan?
Back in the 80s when it made its way on the television. And I haven't seen it since, so it's been a long time. And so I had vague memories of it. I didn't. The interesting thing is the memories that I had of it was remembering. Oh yeah, that's right. Late 70s, early 80s. There was a lot of New York that was like that. There was a lot of this, demolition going on. Uh, Times Square was a kind of sleazy place. It was a dangerous looking place and sometimes dangerous place to be in those years. Um, you know, and then there was the Renaissance in the late 80s and through the 90s and so on, where everything kind of came back. But it was perfect. There were areas of New York that was just absolutely perfect for this kind of movie, in terms of that.
Yeah, I mean what they were wanting and using it for. Yeah, Gordon,
Yeah.
when did you first see this?
I first saw it today. I mean, I knew about it growing up, but I never caught it on TV or anything. Yeah, so I watched it for the first time today.
Daniel, when did you first see this movie?
Oh, today, actually, just like Gordon, this I just saw it today.
Yeah. What did you guys think, Gordon?
Hmm. Well. Well, Jewel, let me ask you a question. Do you want me to be polite and diplomatic or blunt and brutal?
However you want.
Okay. I think that it's a well-shot movie. It
Yeah.
was directed by Michael Waldington, who actually directed the Woodstock documentary. Yeah, there's some great, in-camera special effects. Um, Ultimately, though, I think this is a movie that can't decide whether it's a police procedural with a slight supernatural element or a supernatural film that just happened to have police in it. It felt very much like it was a little bit too slow. And then when the end comes, it's like it feels like they couldn't decide what the ending was. So, I mean, it's great all the way through. I mean, there's some very effective moody shots, but it never really feels like it comes together at the end.
Alan?
Um, it it was in an era when there was a lot. I mean, it was part of the era of a lot of great environmental concerns. If you notice, they're very preachy about the endangerment of wolves and all of that sort of thing. That's part of the message of the background message of the film. I really liked certain elements of it. Now, the creepy. Like Edward James Olmos and his two cohorts there, that these guys are, they're in it. Um, they're creepy, and that's fun. That I enjoyed very much, and it's also fun to see Edward James Olmos, as a young actor or much younger actor, and seeing him do this kind of thing. That whole thing where he mentally transforms into a wolf there, and um, chases the detective around a little bit there to scare the heck out of him is a very interesting little scene. I enjoyed that. So there is that element. I kind of agree with Gordon that it doesn't quite make up its mind what it is, but it does have some elements, I think, that and it's got some great actors in the movie too. I really appreciated that, and I remember New York like that. I went to New York several times in during this era,
Cool,
so I remember New York like this. So it's kind of nostalgic.
cool, cool. Daniel, what did you think?
Honestly, I just thought it was just okay, but I do like like some of the concepts, like like how it showed, you know. the guy act like a wolf, even though he was still in human form, you know. And I like how, you know, it's like he became a wolf, you know, like an act, like just a wolf rather than like the traditional werewolf where it's like a human half wolf, which I know like werewolf does mean like, like man wolf, but you know what I mean? Like it was
He was
still
totally a wolf. Yeah, these guys totally transformed. They weren't like men. They weren't like wolves that walked like men, kind of thing.
yeah,
Well, well,
that's what I was getting at.
I,
Yeah.
I'm going to chime in because the movie never sold me on that idea. It felt more like it was about these super urban godlike wolves that went out. And that's where like I like the idea that okay, it's a werewolf movie until it's not. But it never really made that distinction for me. Like I'm not arguing that that's not what happened. It just didn't if that was the idea, it didn't really sell. I just assumed they were just like spirit god wolves that hunt people. Like but it's also one of those, if that had been the intention, that should have been somehow made clear.
Yeah, when they talk about the atmosphere, like they're changelings, he isn't clear about whether or not they just like evolved that way or whether they were just people that were being changelings. You're right. It wasn't super clear. I kind of went with the idea of people being changelings, but that's
I
just
think,
me because that's where my head was at. So when I watched it.
I think too, they use the camera very well to try to fool you what is and what isn't going on. Sort of pulling a Val Luton move to a degree. Okay, is this werewolves or isn't it?
Right.
And okay, you have the sound, you have howling sounds that could or couldn't be wolves. You have people being killed that could or couldn't be wolves. But do they make a commitment to a wolf or even a werewolf? I would say they never make a full commitment to a werewolf.
Mhm.
Ever,
Right. No,
ever.
it's even if it's men turning into wolves, it's a different kind of thing. It's not
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. This isn't the Howling. This isn't American.
right. It's the same era. It comes from that
Yeah,
same
it's
era, which it probably sprung from that. It probably got funding because it had a theme similar. It's like, oh, that movie did well, so let's try this.
well, I'll give this movie its biggest compliment, other than its acting, because I think Almost is really special in this. He does a great job. Is the psychology. It's really psychologically trying to fuck with you.
Even
Uh,
says it's in the head. It's all in the head.
yeah, it's all in
And
head. It's like, well, are you sure? Because
yeah,
when you do see the when I say see the kills, you don't see necessarily who or what. It's just is it a wolf again? Is it or isn't it wolf?
right.
But I think the most maybe commitment they make is there's a bunch of wolves later on, and
Well,
it's
it's
like
certainly and they're unusual because
yeah,
they show their perspective as being solar. The shots are solarized,
yeah,
and that's the perspective of these wolves, whatever they are, and that's odd and different and weird, sort of looking, and so that always led me to believe that they were something special as well.
yeah. It's weird too. The weirdest part about this movie is I was listening to the score of it during the film, and it kind of sounded like they were doing a Jaws thing. So I'm not saying they were using the theme. Is it me
The
or
build up though, yeah, the
Yeah.
build up, the prey and the predator prey build up, yeah, it's kind of yeah, and that's, I mean, Jaws also borrowed that sort of from other movies, but it was uniquely done. So yeah, I can see what you're talking about.
I'm sorry, Gordon, were you gonna say something?
Well, yeah, I was going to say that the film, I think, tries to do as good a job as it can to build that tension. And I think it's trying to do the police procedural and the horror thing at the same time.
Yeah,
And I mean, both have several things in common. One is that there's always an increase in stakes or a ramp up. So in a procedure, it's like you get one thing, you put another piece of the puzzle, you put another piece of the puzzle, you put it together. I mean, the whole Night Stalker series is about that,
Yeah.
because it's about putting the piece together, except the pieces form werewolf. Or here,
Right.
it's like it wants to stick to both, but with the horror side. And this may just be like a 70s horror, 70s, 80s horror thing where it gets a little bit too abstract. Like a few years later, Return of the Living Dead would be one of the examples where it does both. As a comedy and a horror, it does both because it goes for the laughs. Like, when you see the dead guy walking around, um, you know,
You
I,
know
I
you're in that world. Yeah. You
yeah.
know, you're
And
completely.
and then when I think at one point they put the guy down, and and the older guy says something. Um, the older guy says, "Well, I always knew you were supposed to shoot him in the head or something." And the kid says, "Oh, you mean the movie lied?" Um, but here it never quite, it's
Yeah.
there's a way to meld the two. I just don't
Yeah.
think the script for this movie did it well.
Yeah, and the last of it, I think, kind of gets a little bit lost in moralizing because of that whole issue of the environment and all of that sort of thing, and back to a more basic sort of natural way of living, where you can be a predator and not worry about having it, you know, hold you back morally or anything like that, because he smashes the model and they go away. They leave him alone when he smashes the model of the developer's model, and they understand that they're not going to develop that area, that they're hunting grounds, and they just leave. It's so there's an element of that sort of preachy environmental stuff going on there.
Yeah, I think there's moments of this movie they do get preachy, especially near the end.
I'm Elliot Howard. I'm the chief.
Um,
Oh, Ghost in the Machine.
of public relations to
that's good. Daniel, what did you think? I'm sorry.
No, no worries.
What was the question again?
Oh, what did you think of the effects in the movie and the overall themes of the movie? They were getting
Um,
kind of preachy at the end.
oh, yeah, I'd agree they were getting a little preachy.
Yeah.
Actually, the effects weren't too bad.
They were minimal, and I think that was part of the attempt at sort of blurring everything. The, I mean, that solarized thing it's an easy effect to achieve. Doesn't cost a lot of money, and it's kind of effective in terms of using
Oh
it
yeah.
as a perspective thing. So
You know what's interesting is I don't know if all you I know Jewel has, but I don't know if you guys played the Silent Hill games, but that's what they did something similar in the first one. Like a lot of people don't know this. The reason why it's all foggy is to disguise the fact it actually had slow loading.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and
yeah,
in the movie, the first one anyway, it's all foggy because it's like the what is it? It's like the coal mine has been burning for 100 years underground and
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah. That's the thing. There's a difference between the setting of the game and the setting
and setting a
in
film.
the
Sure.
in the game. The game setting, it's more of a main setting. It's more
Hmm.
of a coastal town.
Sure.
In in the movie Silent Hill, though they say West Virginia
Right.
movie, they're not using the coal fires from West Virginia. There's a town in Pennsylvania. There was a town in Pennsylvania called Centralia.
Yeah.
And what happened was there was a fire underneath and it caught the coals on fire and it literally destroyed the town.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
No, but
No.
that's what they based the film on was
Yeah,
that
the historical
phenomenon.
plot, yeah, of the film. Though they didn't say Pennsylvania, they did, however, use the church from the town, from the
Yeah.
actual town of Centralia. That
Yeah.
that they did. And the church is still there, by the way.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you
And
go, if you
it's
ever,
still burning, isn't it? I mean, it's still,
yeah, they
yeah.
covered. If you go there, you have to walk. Like if you get to the road, because they covered it in dirt. You
Yeah.
can't drive over it. You have to walk over the dirt and stuff like
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
There's nothing really there. There's
Right.
nothing.
Nothing can live there anymore. So.
Yeah, no one can live there. There's like two, maybe three people who do. So
Mhm.
it's a sad thing.
Yeah, I thought in this movie, speaking of the church, I thought that idea of sanctuary was kind of interesting. That these
Hmm.
creatures, or people, or whoever they were, or whatever they were using that as sanctuary. That burnt out old church. Um, that was kind of interesting.
Yeah. And when when the two male and female were there, and they could hear the sounds because they keep hearing it. Oh, it's the wind. It's like, oh wait, that's not the wind.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he has an instinct for panic at that point and has to get her out of there. I mean, basically, he's panicking so much that they end up like tumbling down the stairs to get out of there.
Yeah.
So, that's that was kind of an interesting thing. They were also trying, I think, to develop the fact that he had an instinct that they kind of respected, even though they thought of him more as prey at first. At the end there, when he's facing off against them, they look in his eyes, and his eyes are different. His eyes don't look like prey anymore. It's that whole thing that the Native American guys, the creepy guys in the bar, were talking about before. And so that I thought that they didn't. Again, that kind of was a little fuzzy. It was there, but they never fully developed that. But that was an interesting aspect of it. I thought maybe they could have developed further, like having him become one of them or something like that. Something interesting like that.
I actually did think they were going to go down that smooth,
Yeah, I mean, it looked like they might.
but they didn't. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, what did you guys think of Gregory Hines in this
Oh, he's the best thing in it.
movie?
He's this is the beginning of his film career, I
Yeah.
think. This is before White Knights and all that stuff. And so yeah, he's got a vivid character in this for sure.
Oh yeah,
I'm
I'll say
sorry
yeah.
to see him go.
Oh yeah, that's understandable. Yeah, I'd say he did a good job.
Yeah.
Also, the dad in Family Matters is in briefly.
Hmm.
He's one of the oh god, what am I thinking? Coroners. He's one of the coroners.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Well,
right.
well,
That's
he was prepping for his role in Die Hard.
yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yes.
You guys might already know this, but did you know Family Matters was actually a spinoff?
Yes.
I know it's weird to think about because it's so successful, but yeah, it was a spinoff.
Yeah, I mean, there have been some fairly successful spin-offs for sure.
Mhm.
I think this movie was kind of a spin-off from werewolf movies with a different take on the whole
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, bet.
Oh,
Bet. What's you guys' favorite scenes? You got any?
I kind of like the wolf's eye view footage simply because it's something that usually it's done with just like a low crawling camera, but I think adding that effect just gives it a nice otherworldliness. Um, you know, but but other than that, like, and then thinking throughout the movie, it's like there are clues that are laid that they never even attempt to like follow up on. Like at the beginning, you've got the guy with the gun, he's got like the ring with the pentagram, so you think, oh, it's Satan, because
Mhm.
pentagrams and werewolves kind of go
Yeah.
together, or they
Yeah,
don't.
yeah. Yeah.
Um, and so, and there's certain things that feel like I think if the movie had like maybe ignored those and just focused on people dying, because it does feel like there's one too many ideas in it. But I think if you streamline it, so it's still a procedural, but the procedural leads to super wolves or
Right.
werewolves or whatever
Yeah.
they turn out to be. Maybe they're accountants. I don't know.
Hairy accountants with snouts, sniffing out all your bad tax problems, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, they weren't absolutely sure what they want this movie to be. There's some very much entertaining parts in it. I think my favorite scenes were the Edward James Olmos scenes. I really think he's extremely charismatic in this movie. It's a great character. It's really pivotal to the idea that these things exist. So I had a lot of fun with those scenes.
I'll say my favorite. Those are good scenes too, but I'd say my favorite scene was actually when they were explaining, the wolves, like in the restaurant or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the scenes that he's in too. So, but that specific scene's really good.
Oh, that's true. I don't know if you guys noticed, but you notice the American flag is upside down in it.
I did not even
Uh,
that went right over my head. I didn't check that out. Missed it.
Oh, that's understandable. It's to be fair though, it's probably pretty easy to miss because you know how movies are like in the background. It's like sometimes it's like blurry, so it kind of has that effect.
Sure. But I mean, the director probably did it on purpose to sort of give you the idea of SOS or whatever. But
Oh yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, when, for example, we were reviewing the Manchurian Candidate to sort of tip you off to the that certain characters are going to get killed or assassinated, you
Mhm.
would see pictures of presidents who were assassinated, like
Yeah,
Lincoln.
yeah, yeah. That's
It's like,
yeah. A little
it's like
foreshadowing there. Yeah, a little
yeah,
symbolism.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. My favorite scenes in this movie is just the way they use the camera itself, the scenery. I do agree with you. There's scenes they don't come back to at all, and when they do, sort of their answer to it in short is terrorism. It's like, well, wait a second, what is devil worship? Like the pentagram and like terrorism have nothing to do with each other.
Yeah.
What are
Yeah,
you doing?
that was a red herring to sort of
Yeah,
that led to the detective at the end of it giving that as an out so that they wouldn't
yeah.
pursue these wolves because he'd gained some kind of respect for them.
Sorry, Gordon.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, yeah, it just felt like this was a movie where I don't know who wrote the script, and I know it's based on a novel, and that in doing some research about it, the original cut was like 4.5 hours long,
Holy
which
crap. That'd
and
be
and
way too.
I- yeah, and in looking at this, and I think the director got replaced in post-production, and you can kind of see why, because there's just there are a couple of elements that you could excise, and this I think would be a pretty solid movie.
Hmm.
Um, and you could even play the ambiguity of what the wolves are better. But here it's just, I mean, it's good, but it's like not a movie I would see again.
It makes sense when you say that, the director or the editors got kind of discombobulated after in post
Mhm.
production. That makes a little bit of sense. That does.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, what do you guys give this movie?
I
Oh,
liked enough of it to give it a 7.
Yeah,
yeah, I think it's 7 out of 10.
yeah,
I'll give it a 6 out of 10.
yeah, yeah. 6.5. It's not a great, but it has
It's got
good
some fun
elements.
elements in it.
Yeah, it does.
Mhm.
Uh, are we good for tomorrow? Or
Oh, I should be good for tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good for
Yep.
tomorrow.
Should be.
it's Alan's turn to pick. So
Oh no! You caught me off guard. Let me see. Trying to find. I need to find one that we can access. That's going to be interesting. Just give me a minute here. Um, uh, maybe a more classic one. Um, or maybe, let me think.
Jewel, you said it was Alan's choice.
no, I was holding up my box set. That's all.
What? Oh, what do you got? Oh, Elm Street.
No, sure.
Uh, I'll let you pick that next time.
Oh God,
Uh,
very nice.
I was
Very nice.
thinking maybe a Vincent Price movie,
There you go.
something more in a classical vein, just to kind of break it up a little bit
There you go.
from the more modern ones that we've been doing. Um, have you guys done House on Haunted Hill?
We probably have, but we can do it again.
We could do that, or we could do Fall the House of Usher.
There you go.
Would
We have
that
not done that.
okay? Let me see if I can find that one available. One of the better versions of it, like Vincent Price version of it. That would be cool because I think he's in one of them. He's certainly in one of them. Yeah, 1960. It's on Pluto.
Okay.
It's on Pluto. So let's do that one. 1960 horror fantasy, 1 hour and 25 minutes. Easy digestion.
There
Oh
you
yeah,
go.
that's true.
Let's try that.
Sorry, Gordon, were you saying something? I'm sorry.
All good.
Link to Gordon Dymowski's Amazon page and website will be in the description box. Link to Alan Gallant's YouTube channel, Collins Sports After Dark, will be in the description box. Link to Daniel Culver's YouTube channel, Magic Double, will be in the description box. Link to Patrick McCrae's Dark Shadows Daybook Unbound will be in the description box. You guys have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow.
Peace out, guys.
Bye.